it's Leanne Peters here, and I'm from Temple of Balance, and I'm here to host our Healing List event for May 2024. This is especially or exclusive to or for some of my Temple of Balance patrons. So welcome and thank you to all of my patrons. So we've got 30 people on the list today. So 30 people to get onto the list, you need to become a patron. So on Patreon, you have different sort of levels, pledge levels they call them, pledging this, pledging that. But it's like a financial pledge or a financial amount that gives you access to a certain resource and all the, in my case, all the resources that come before it. So if you pledge at the $50 level, for example, you receive the $50 resource, which is the healing event I did yesterday, plus all of the other resources that come before it, like this one and others, for example. So I want to thank you for being a patron for the month of May. And if you're not on my Patreon, then I do trust that you've been led here for a reason. And I trust that Something Shared supports you and that you can also come on this journey with us all as well. So the plan, I've got all this stuff here in front of me and all around me, ready to go. So my intention in coming here, my theme, my aim, the focus is trust. Hi, Jackie. Thank you. Is to trust in the unfolding. We're going to be looking at trust. So what does that mean? Like trusting in other people, irrelevant. Janice, irrelevant in this case. So if we, it's such an interesting topic. So if I'm thinking, okay, I can trust that person or I can't, to me, it's something I personally decide based on how honest or authentic I see this person being. Can I trust them to be honest? Can I trust them to be who they are, basically? Or can I trust them to do the right thing? That is a completely different type of trust to the trust that I'm talking about. Now, I've found a lot of people who have trust issues. Maybe there have been very difficult things or betrayals of trust and relationship issues or things in the family that have violated that trust. So that the trust issues around certain people might be at the forefront. For me, that's a completely different type of trust to the type of trust that I'm talking about today, which is trusting in our intuition, trusting in the unfolding of things, trusting in the bigger picture. Now, maybe the more we resolve our trust issues with other people, if they're at the forefront for some of us, perhaps for you, and you struggle to trust in yourself and you struggle to trust in the bigger picture or trust in the unfolding of things, then maybe resolving those trust issues with people might be important to begin with. That may get in the way of our ability to trust in other things that are more, I'm not even really sure, maybe more extending and expansive from us or something like this. So I guess there's something to think about to begin with might be, where are you at with trust right now? Are you having trust issues with other people, and is that at the forefront? Can you put that aside and maybe look at how much are you trusting or not trusting in life itself, in yourself? So the thing I really feel like I want to get into with our connection today and our event today is trusting in the rhythm of life. So trusting in the rhythm just led me straight to the drum. So I've got one of our huge drums here, the sort of tie-dyed lion's head kind of drum. So I'll be playing this big guy today. So I really want to get into the rhythm and trusting in the rhythm of the drum, but trusting in the rhythm of our life. I have all of you, 30 people, 30 lovely people here on a piece of paper, and I've already pulled a card for you, and I've grabbed a keyword that I've written next to your name. So I'm going to be going through that list in just a moment. And I also have my smudge stick here. So I'm going to do some smudging. We might smudge first. Thanks, Jackie. I'm going to be working with my healing energy cards today. This is deck 1 combined with deck 2 in here somewhere. So I've got 110 cards. So I'll be working with those as well. So that's sort of what I got here. And then I'm just going to let it unfold as it happens anyway. So I think we're going to start with some smudging. Smudging will help the intention to smudge. And if you can take this as deep as you can get more out of this. So for example, if you're sitting here, maybe you're new to my work and you're like, what on earth is this person talking about? And you've got a bit of a distance, then you're probably just going to scratch the surface, maybe just listen in the background or whatever. But if you want to use this as an opportunity to go deeper into your healing, if you have been connecting with my work for a while and you have a sense of trust in me for whatever reason, which I'm very grateful for, and don't take for granted, by the way, I don't ever take your trust in me for granted. In fact, I find it quite the honour if you do have a trust in me. And I feel that because I hear a lot of people do have a trust in me, and I feel it's because I'm here regularly and I am honest and I do show up. And it's easier to trust people like that than people that don't keep their word, for example, or that betray us or have an ulterior motive. So if you have a bit of a trust in me and you feel like you have the time now and you'd like to go deeper and really get the most out of this, then I encourage you to really deeply come along on this journey and see where the rhythm of this takes you personally. It's up to you how deep you go. So I'm going to be lighting this smudge stick here, sage, which I'll do here on my lap. So just bear with me a second. Take a nice big breath. Now, smudging is our opportunity to clear the things that's, thanks, Jackie, to clear the things that are in the way. Now, these could be important things, but maybe things that aren't important in this particular moment, like things you've got to do later, or things that you're worrying about, people you're worrying about. So can you give yourself permission to be here for the next half an hour or so? Can you put what you've got to do aside, let your worries go, and bring yourself as fully present as possible? The smudging is your opportunity to focus on that and let that go. So we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks, and attachments. And we ask this sacred smoke to help clear our worries and our stresses and the pressure that we feel we're under, the pressure that we're putting on to ourselves, and surrendering this all to the sacred smoke and letting go. And letting go. Now, if you've got things to do, if you've got things, an appointment later, or you're going shopping and you've got a shopping list going around in your head, put that aside if you can. Imagine that there's a box outside your door and you're putting those things in the box. You can tend to those later. They're not important for right now. So make a quick list if you need to so you don't forget, and then put it aside, because it's up to you now, if you want to go deeper with this journey today. So thank you. Let's snuff out the smudge stick. And I'm going to summon you all forward, which is always fun. Just make sure this guy's out. Okay. All right, so now summoning everyone forward. So we have 30 people on the healing list today, which is amazing. So thank you all. So like I mentioned, I went through my healing energy cards before doing this video, and I had your names printed out, and I just whichever card I pulled, I trusted that it was meant for you because you were next on the list. And then as I read the card or connected with the card, I just grabbed a keyword, usually one word. I think in one case, two cases, there are two words, but it's usually one word, just a key word that really stood out as I looked at your name and I looked at the card. So as I share your name and your word or your keyword, perhaps write it down if you want to, but maybe think about it. Why has this word come up for you, especially around this trust theme or trusting in the rhythm theme? See how it feels, see how it fits, and explore the word further if you want to or if you're so inclined. So let's start. So as I say your name too, I imagine you coming into our circle and coming in close together. So Carol White, your word is courage. And Anne Cecile, your name, your word, your key word is release. Kanti Devi Wedad, your word is stabilize. Nicki Mohler, your word is accelerate. Susan Sonsteng, your word is direction. Jane Corlett, your word is heart. Matthew Keith, your word is prepare. Chelsea Keith, your word is gentleness. Anne-Marie Douglas, your word is stillness. Allison, your word is awareness. Angela Fraser, your word is strength. Emily Fussell, your word is truth. Nicole E, your word is responsibility. Priscilla Kimboko, your word is change. Suzie Nicholls, your word is trust. So you got double trust, Suzie. Trust. Angie Griswold, your word is life. Avril Daly, your word is flow. And Bridget Mehrtens, your word is transform. Jackie, your words are unlock yourself. Janice Chalmers, your word is crossroad. Joanna Levine, your word is knowledge. Kathleen Glen, your word is reflection. Kimberly Veness, your word is signs. Michele Burch, your word is overcome. Nicole Wiggins, your word is calm. Pamela Florea, your word is union. Rayna Ortiz, your word is radiance. Teala Smith, your words are self-love. Joanne Monroe, your word is observe. And Rebecca Ross, your word is breath. So sit with your word or sit with the words that really stood out for you. If you're not on the list, then I suggest that you notice the words or word that really stood out and spoke to you. And what I'm feeling now, I want to drum, I want to feel the rhythm come in, the rhythm that we can trust, the rhythm that may stir us up and maybe stir us up in an uncomfortable way, in a confronting way. The rhythm that takes us deeper, the rhythm that takes us along our path, and the rhythm that helps us connect with spirit, connect with our heartbeat, connect with ourselves, our voice, the rhythm of our actions, the rhythm of our movement through life. So I'm going to drum. Oh no, I'm not going to grab a card. We'll grab a card later. Okay, so let's see where we're going to go with this. So hopefully the drum sounds okay in this microphone, and you trust in the different rhythms that come up with the drum as the drum's being played. Can you trust the rhythm, or are you going to try and control it? Are you going to be thinking in your head, that's too fast, that's too slow, that's too loud, that's too soft? Are you going to try and control my rhythm that I'm creating? Or can you surrender and trust in the rhythm that I feel and that I trust, and trust that that rhythm will help guide you on your path at this time as you sit with your word, as you sit with yourself, and as you sit perhaps with the curiosity of what trust means to you, and how much or how little perhaps you're trusting in things at this time. So relinquishing our need to control and manipulate will help us trust more in the flow and the rhythm of things. So nice big breath, and I trust the drum will carry you where you need to be. Listen to the sound of the drum and see what happens, and there's nothing you can do wrong. Just drop your need to be in control. Well, the whole room was singing. Hopefully it wasn't too rattly coming through, because that's the thing I forgot when you work with a big drum. It's the resonance and the vibration is so deep and so powerful that it seems to make everything rattle everywhere. So hopefully you could work with that as best as you could. So thank you. That was so nice and just right. It felt like just perfect for this energy. So I trust that you feel good and you enjoyed the rhythm of the drum. And where did the rhythm of the drum take you? Did it take you deep into a place inside, or on a vision somewhere, on a bit of a meditation perhaps? What have you discovered a bit more about yourself from your drumming journey and trusting in the rhythm of the drum? So you can connect with the energy of the drum beat every moment of every day, anytime you want, by connecting to the beat of your heart. So the beat of your heart is echoed, or the drum echoes the beat of the heart. So your heartbeat can bring that rhythm. Can you trust in the rhythm of your heart? Can you trust in the rhythm of your life to guide you and take you where you need to be as you go through the lessons that need to be learned and the things that you're digesting and figuring out and discovering about life and about yourself? Can you open up just that little bit further and trust a little bit more in the bigger picture, that there's something bigger out there than what we might see or experience at face value? There is meaning, there is purpose, there is truth, and there is something more than the physical for us to connect with if we're open to that. So I trust you feel good and you feel something, even if it's something little. That's fantastic. Yes, beautiful. Thank you everybody. Let's grab now a card to go. So I'm looking for the best healing energy card that the majority of us need as we prepare to move forward from here. So how can we carry this energy through and into our life from here? So the idea is that when this is turned off and we're then going through the everyday things that we've got happening today, or the things that we're dealing with, how can we carry this powerful energy of trust forward into our life so it matters, so it means something, so that we can embody it, so it makes a positive difference and improvement, hopefully, in our life. So the best healing energy card that the majority of us need as we move forward from here is this. It's from the first deck, Healing Energy Cards, deck 1. And we have card 15, Winds of Change. Winds of Change is in the action category. So it's suggesting a movement, a change, a productivity, a movement of sorts. There's energy moving here with the action category. And down here it says adapt, adjust, change, fast, aftermath, things shuffling, topsy-turvy. Your roots are strong. Let unneeded parts of yourself and your life break away. So our roots are strong. And I think our roots get stronger the more we trust in the unfolding, trust in the flow, trust in the rhythm, trust in the bigger picture, trust in our intuition, trust in the steps that we take, trust that we are where we need to be for whatever reason. Sometimes that's a real difficult one. But I feel with this card, at least partly, at least at this moment, that the more we can trust, the more we can surrender our need to be in control and surrender to the bigger picture and surrender to the unfolding of things, surrender to the flow, then the deeper we can embed our roots and the stronger our roots become. And it does seem true. You know, like I've been living in trusting the flow. I've been living that way since I did my hairdressing apprenticeship, which was in the mid 90s. And that was the first time, because trust and flow kind of go together for me. It was the first time I noticed, like I was cutting someone's hair or styling someone's hair, and I realized that I had to, or the hair moved in a certain, actually it grows in a spiral from the crown. So it actually grows around, which is why we usually have one side comes forward, one side goes back. Sometimes it's stronger depending on your hair strand type, the density of your hair or the texture of your hair. But I saw the hair grew in a spiral and I thought, wow, you know, learning specific cutting styles for specific cutting styles that are just generic uniform across the board, which are a great technique to begin with. I realized or expanded from those four structures to starting to cut the hair with the way the hair grew. And I found that the hair was lasting longer before it needed another haircut, for example. It stayed and held its shape longer than the typical sort of 5 or 6 weeks. So people could get a few extra weeks out of their haircut, which I thought was great value and really good. So this all expanded, or this started, this was the very beginning of my conscious decision, or the conscious awareness of seeing the flow and trusting in the flow of the way the hair moved. I'm going to trust that, and I'm going to cut the hair with that flow. I'm going to move with the flow of this instead of trying to control and try and pull this part of the hair this way when all it wants to do is go that way. And so move with the flow, move with the direction of that. So I've been consciously and building upon that since the mid 90s, since I was barely 20 really. And I've been living in that way for quite a few years now, quite a few decades, and I know that it strengthens, it grows the more we develop that. But it also, at this point in my life, I've noticed the more that I trust in the flow of things, the more that I surrender and drop my need to be in control and try and force something this way when it wants to go that way. If I can move with that, there's some confidence, like a deep sense of confidence that seems to arise. So I'm not surprised with this energy of, the more we trust and the more we develop that, the stronger we get in the roots of who we are. And the stronger we are in the roots of who we are, the more confident we can be, and the more clarity we receive, because there is a broader sense of awareness and trust in the bigger picture. The clarity actually arrives, I think, a little more clearer when we're in that trusting place. And because we're well rooted, we're nice and grounded in ourselves and confident, that actually more clarity comes as well. So I can't emphasize enough how valuable it is to keep building on our trust within ourselves, the trust in the flow, the trust in the rhythm of life, the trust in all those sorts of things. The other element of this card that really stood out as I was reading it was this last sentence: let unneeded parts of yourself and your life break away. So this comes from strong roots. We're going to be really scared to break parts of our life and ourselves away if we are not well rooted, if we are not trusting in the unfolding of things, let's say. If we are scared and we are trying to control things or force things or manipulate things to be the way we want for whatever reason, we're not going to let parts break away. In fact, we'll probably try and hold on to everything that we can. So there is a deep surrender. The more we trust, the more we can surrender, the more we can let unhealthy parts of ourselves and our life and our relationships break away because they are unhealthy for us. the more we can pluck out the weeds around the base of us too, that might be sucking the life out of us or sucking the life out of our roots. So winds of change. This card talks about quick change. It's like something comes in quickly and something leaves quickly, and it stirs things up. It's like a storm that comes in, it blows all the things about that are loose, and then the storm moves on, and we're dealing with the aftermath now. We've got to clean up, we've got to sort out the wheat from the chaff. We've got to let some things go, perhaps, and bring some things in. So what do we want to bring in? What do we need to let go? And can we trust ourselves to make those decisions? Can we trust ourselves to do what needs to be done for our highest truth? So, it's a huge topic, this topic of trust. And I've said for a long time, I could write a whole book on it. It's so fascinating. But anyway, that's something hopefully that's helpful for you. And thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support, especially to my patrons. And if you want to be a part of this healing list event next month, it happens at the end of every month, then please have a look at my Patreon. You can see the link in the description below. And this is accessible at the $15 level. That's US dollars or less. Or more. $15 US or more. So if you went at the $20 level, you'd have access to this. The $100 level, you'd have access to this. So that sort of thing. But let me know if you've got questions. Have a great rest of your day. And it's been an honor to connect with you today. So thank you very much. And I'll see you next time. Bye.